Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of Daily Stock, we are going to consider the quarterly earnings for the second quarter of fiscal year 2024 for the AT&T, which is one of the fraction of the erstwhile Bell Labs. And why I'm listing these facts because this company AT&T is not only one of the largest network carrier in the United States, but it's also a legacy company which was formed more than a century back, and it has been serving the United States in a manner which has been kind of revolutionary. It has helped it make progress in the technology space, and at the current moment, it is also going through some of the key revolutionary breakthroughs. It has been able to garner success in the key three segments in which it is present: the internet mobility, broadband, and streaming platform, HBO and HBO Max. There is growth in these three segments. The growth for the subscribers is promising, and I think after sluggish couple of quarters, we are likely to see renewed interest of the market participants for adopting a bullish stance. Its momentum is also reflecting the same. It has been bullish for last couple of months, and I feel this bullishness is likely to prevail, and we will be doing ourselves a service if we are able to figure out decent opportunity with a decent risk reward ratio to take advantage of the ongoing scenario. This is the quarterly report which was filed with the Security Exchange Commission last month. The key takeaway from this result is a slight decline in the net income attributable to AT&T. Its net income, that is the bottom line, came in lower by around 20 percentage point, even though its total revenue remains more or less on a similar footing. So this is pointing to lower efficiency and also rising cost of business. But I think that even despite these underwhelming results, it has a good chance of continuing to do well, and in course of time there is a good probability, a high probability that we will see its valuations maybe doubling or even rising more than that, but that is going to take time. It might take a couple of months or maybe even a couple of years, but in the long run, I feel that the momentum is now on the side of the bulls for the AT&T. The rise in other expenses, the interest expense are around the same size. There is not much of a change. There has been rise in expense. The total other income is not there. Instead, there has been expense which has gone up, and as a result of that, the income before income taxes has diminished and declined below $5 billion, even though the net revenues are not very much different in comparison to what the revenues were a year back for the same quarter. And that explains this decline in the net income attributable to the AT&T. The takeaway is that despite the revenue remaining on the similar footing, there has been substantial decline in the bottom line. Now we will have to try to find out why this has happened, and for that we will have to go through these statement which we have at hand. Here is the balance sheet. The balance sheet looks quite healthy for the company. Coming to the cash flow statement, we will get a clear picture of what is happening in the company's operation, its investment activity, and the financing activity so as to figure out the cash inflow and outflow to assess its liquidity position. In the operating segment, it generated US dollar 7.5 billion, which is higher in comparison to US dollar 6.6 billion a year back. Out of that, there were money spending on the capital expenditure. Overall, the cash outflow of US dollar 2.96 billion happened because of the investment activity. Of the investment activity expenditure, the largest chunk went for the capital expenditure. Then there is cash inflow on account of sale and settlement of securities and investment. This brought in more than US dollar 1 billion. But still, for the investment activity, there was substantial cash outflow, quite close to US dollar 3 billion. In the financing activity, there is almost doubling of the cash flow this time around in comparison to the cash flow, cash outflow last time, that is for the same quarter of fiscal year 2023. That is explained by the fact that there has been substantial difference in the issuance of the long-term debt. Last time around, there was fresh issuance of the debt that had brought in US dollar 3.36 billion, and for the short-term borrowings, there was cash inflow of US dollar 3.62 billion. But this time around, there is a cash inflow on account of issuance of the short-term borrowings, but there is no issuance of the long-term debt. So this explains this difference on the cash outflow on account of financing activity. The largest chunk of the cash outflow has gone to repayment of the long-term debt, followed by repayment of the short-term borrowings. So these two items have taken a very substantial chunk of money from the company, whereas there are not many heads listed here which have brought in this kind of cash apart from the net changes in short-term borrowings with original maturities of 3 months or less. Resultantly, the company's cash pile is getting close to depleted. There is not much of a buffer for the companies of this side. The AT&T is a big player, and for that, I feel that it might need to raise money if its cash position keeps dwindling and the reserve starts to run dry. At the moment, the company's position is not that tiresome on this account, but still, if it raises cash, maybe that will bolster the confidence of the investors even further. Now we head to the JForex core, the trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. For AT&T, last couple of days, last couple of weeks, last couple of months have been phenomenal. It has continually risen over these period depending on your time horizon. Even in the short run, after consolidating close to the 17.5 mark, it has risen sharply and it is not really far off from the marker of 18.5. And this bullishness, even though its earnings are mixed bag, point to the possibility of market participants believing that there is a better future ahead for the investors, for the valuations of the company. So in course of time, its valuations might rise further. So that is the key takeaway from the short-term plotting of the AT&T stock. Here you can note that it has continually risen, making the formation of higher lows, higher highs and higher lows since the mid-April, and even on these elevated levels, it is not really showing signs of fatigue. It is likely to continue to grow. The only thing which we need to do is get risk reward ratio and then try to adopt the scalping approach with methods like buy on dips for the possibility of it continuing to rise further. Expanding our gaze to the medium term. In the medium term, things aren't really looking much different here also. The underlying momentum has been bullish, though there was sharp drop towards $16 mark, but now the stock is more than 10 percentage point up from that low mark of the mid-April, and currently it is sitting pretty on these recent swing highs. Even if we expand the charting further on the weekly, pardon me, when we use weekly as our candle period time frame, you can see that it has spent considerable amount of time in the consolidation phase, and now it seems to be quite ready for the further move north. Whether that will happen or not is something which we can't tell, but we can always try to look for decent risk reward ratio so as to make sure that in the eventuality we are wrong, we shouldn't be losing too much money. So changing back its price formation to the hourly again. In the month of February, there was this consolidation, extended consolidation, which extended till the start of the April, and then there was this sharp dip, now followed by slow and steady rise from $16 to $18, and it is not really far off from the 1919 either. So in this scenario, if you are looking for any opportunity to buy on dips, I think AT&T can be one of the stock of choice for your portfolio. You can keep an eye on its recent price formation. If it declines, if it corrects to some extent from the current levels and then goes into a consolidation phase, I think we can take some chances and expect it to move towards 20 or even beyond that. But that is going to take a few weeks, if not more. From the long-term perspective, things are not that promising here. I feel we can take advantage of the consolidation phase while trying to figure out the strategies to invest and trade in the TNT. I feel in the current scenario, the price formation of higher highs and higher lows is likely to hold well, and we should be targeting that. So in the long run, where the AT&T has spent considerable amount of time consolidating in this price band of 16 to 18. This time around also, if there is some correction and the AT&T doesn't really decline past immediate swing low, then in that scenario we can take the trade and anticipate its further move on the front side. It's going to be important for the AT&T stock to eventually break past this immediate prior swing high. If it does that, then that will signal the change in course for the AT&T stock, and in the long run, then we can keep looking for the opportunities to trade and invest as this is the company which has been around for the long time, and hopefully it will be around in the long run, in the long time. So on all the three different time frames which we have considered, the bullish tendency is there. no matter whether you are looking for short-term opportunity, the long-term opportunity, or the medium-term opportunity. In all these three different time horizons, the bullishness is there. So all we need to do is keep looking for the opportunities to buy with decent risk reward ratio. So that's all from my side for today's session of the daily stocks, where we consider the price formation and quarterly earnings of the AT&T, and I hope you have found the session informative and useful for your trading purposes. If you have any doubt, anything to talk about related to AT&T, we can discuss that. You can leave it in the comments. Thank you all for joining in. See you next time around. Till then,